Okay, question 11. That's a nice question. You've got a little bit of a mix here of circle, and if you look at the second part, in fact, there's three topics really. You've got circle, but tangent, so you're thinking straight line, and also with the question here, determine the value of p when it's a tangent. You should be thinking quadratic. You should be thinking b squared minus 4ac for that. Okay, so we've got three topics all mixed into one, and it's good when you read these questions, especially the big hitters, lots of marks. Think about the strategy that you're going to do when you start off with this. Okay, so this first one, find the equation of the tangent. I'll be thinking to myself, okay, if I've got a tangent, let's see if that comes out. Oh, it's going a bit slow. Oh, it's going super slow. Let me just try that again. Okay, I think my computer is nearly as awake as me. You should be thinking PGE. Okay, P. But it's still not really woken up, is it? PGE. Okay. So find the equation. Well, I know that we've got a point T, so I know that T is there, and that's at -2, -5. But I would really like to find another point, and this is where a little diagram comes in quite handy. So I'll just put one over here. So if you've got your circle and you've got your tangent, you can see that the tangent meets the radius at 90 degrees. So that means I need to work out my centre. Pardon me. So the centre of the circle is just change the signs of both of these. So it's -8, -2. And then I'm going to work out this gradient here and then flip it and change the sign for the perpendicular gradient. That's what I'm looking to get that for my straight line. So the gradient, I'll drop that out now. So the gradient y2 take away y1. So I'll just label them up actually, just so I don't get confused. So y2 take away y1 divided by x2 take away x1. So it's -5 plus 2, so it'll be -3, and -2 plus 8, so that'll be +6. So that gradient is -0.5. And I'm just going to label this up as MCT, because it's the gradient from the centre to point T. But I then want the perpendicular gradient, so I'm going to have positive, change the sign and flip it 2. And then I'll be able to substitute that into my equation, so it's y minus b is mx minus a. And again, just take your time, especially in an exam, or if you, definitely in an exam. I know when you're doing these over and over again, you maybe get a bit lazy with it, but it's really good practice just to, get used to that. So a and b, so you don't make any silly mistakes. So that's going to be y plus 5, because it's take away b, which is negative. My gradient's 2, and again, that'll be plus 2. So y plus 5, 2x plus 4, so y, 2x, take away 1. Nice 4 marks. So basically it's a straight line question. All you have to remember is the centre of the circle is the signs changed, and I did my little sketch, just to visualise what was going on. I'll maybe just put that back in down here so that if someone's looking at my OneNote they can see. Okay, so you get the centre and you've got T. Okay. So worth doing a little sketch and worth putting your head into PGE. Usually we've been putting CRE for the circle equations, but for this case we just needed the centre. And just take your time labeling these up. It's a great 4 marks to get for the straight line. Very easy to make a silly mistake somewhere, especially this, forgetting to do your perpendicular. Okay. Part B, 6 marks, a little bit more involved. Part B, okay, so let me see my pen's working. There we go. So part B. This tangent is a tangent to the parabola, where p is greater than 3. Determine the value of p. Okay. Now, if this line is a tangent to this, it would hold then that 2x take away 1 is equal to -2x squared plus px plus 1 take away p. So all I've done there is substituted the y value of my straight line into the y value of the parabola. Okay, they should equal each other if they are in fact tangential. So that equation might come out, if x is, say when x is 3, that will come out as 5, and then x in here and p would, they would come out with the same value, 5. Okay, so this should equal this. And if we want to find tangency, well, we need to get it all equal to 0, and and then do our b squared minus 4ac. So I'll get onto the other side just so I've got a positive 2x squared. So I'll say positive 2x squared, take away px, take away 1 plus p, plus the 2x, take away 1 is equal to 0. So I've just put everything onto the other side. And then we'll group our like terms together. So I've got 2x squared, that's fine. In terms of x's, I've got a plus 2x and a negative px. And in terms of units, I've got a take away 2 and a plus p. So quite a lot going on there, quite a lot going on. So that'll be my c value, that's fine. This one, I'm just going to rewrite that to make it a bit nicer. I'm going to say that if I take out x as a, kind of like x, a common factor, I'm going to end up with 2 take away p. So that's going to end up as my b value. And then I've got negative 2 plus p. I can't do anything with that. That then, I'll have to leave it like that. That effectively becomes your c value. So I've got a, I've got b, and I've got c, which is all of this. So now you're saying, okay, well, for a tangent, b squared minus 4ac has to be equal to 0 for a tangent. Very similar to your roots. Yeah, you get 2 equal roots. Okay. Also, I could factorize this if it was just, if there wasn't p in there, I could factorize it, and if I got equal brackets, I would then have equal roots, and I could say it's a tangent as well, but I'm going to have to use this method in this case. Okay, so b squared, so it's going to be 2 take away p squared, take away, and I'll always put this in a bracket, okay, just to be sure, b squared minus 4 times a times, and just keep this in a bracket as well. That's your c, so that should be equal to 0. So for these, I always do a little table for my multiplying out. So I'm going to say that I've got 2 take away p and 2 take away p. So that's 4 take away 2p, take away 2p. That gives me p squared. So over here, I've got p squared, take away 4p plus 4. So that's the b squared. And then I'm taking away, and this bracket over here, that's going to become 8 multiplied by, I'll just write it as p take away 2, but no, I won't, because someone's going to follow the working and not be sure what's going on. So that would be that. So I'll give me negative 16 plus 8p. So I've got negative 16 plus 8p in there. And this is why I like it in a bracket, just to make sure that the negatives are all followed through properly. So plus 4, so it's going to be plus 16, and take away 8p is equal to 0. And then we'll group our like terms. So that will be p squared, take away 12p plus 20 is equal to 0. And then it's just a factorize. So what adds to negative 12? It multiplies to 20. Say equal to 0. So I'm thinking 10 and 2 is looking quite good. Yeah, negative 10, negative 2. So that means that p is equal to 10, or p is equal to 2, but p can't be 2 because the question said it is greater than 3. So my final answer is p equals 10. So quite a nice little question actually when you get into it. It does flow quite well. There's a lot of algebra. 10 marks all in as well. So I think the main takeaway from this one, I'll just zoom in, is that when you've got a tangent question, it's basically a straight line question of PG and get your sketch. That should be a banker. For this one, remember a tangent is going to have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. If you remember that, that kind of gets you going. Don't be scared of the equation with all the p's and things in it. You just need to make those two equations equal to each other, set it equal to 0, and then do b squared minus 4ac. Very good. Yeah, they might have asked you about more than one point of contact, so you would have done the exact same thing, but b squared minus 4ac be greater than 0 if there were to have more than one point of contact, less than 0 for no point of contacts. And then you would have found the roots and drawn your sketch. So if you can do this, you can do the other versions of the question as well. So greater than 0, there's 2 points of contact. Less than 0, there's no points of contact as well. But this was a slightly easier one because it was just finding those two, effectively finding the roots. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, question 11.